Have you ever felt stuck in an emotional loop, reacting to things that others brush off, feeling too much, too fast, and not knowing why? Sometimes what we call overreacting is actually a nervous system that learned to survive. That's trauma. And it can be in your body even when your mind forgets. Hi, I'm Dr. Katia Batista, a psychiatrist, and today we begin a new mini series where we'll explore trauma not from motivational quotes but from science, psychiatry, and live reality. Let's start with one powerful question. What's trauma? Trauma is not just what happened to you, it's what happened inside you as a result. Clinically, trauma refers to an emotional response to a deeply distressing or disturbing event that overwhelms your ability to cope. It can be a single incident or a long term pattern. Trauma disrupts your sense of safety, control, even identity. There are types of trauma. The acute trauma is a single incident, like a car accident, assault. Chronic trauma is repeated exposure, like happens in domestic violence, bullying, and the complex trauma, multiple cumulative traumas often from early life. Example of this one is physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional neglect, loss of a caregiver, even medical trauma in childhood. Let's talk about the neurobiological impact of trauma. When an individual perceives a threat, the brain initiates a complex, coordinated response to ensure survival. This process begins in the amygdala, the brain's primary center for detecting danger. Upon recognizing the threat, the amygdala sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus, which then activates the sympathetic nervous system, the body's fight or flight mechanism. The sympathetic nervous system stimulates the adrenal glands to release catecholamines, specifically adrenaline, that's epinephrine, and norepinephrine. These hormones prepare the body to confront or flee the threat by increasing heart rate, elevating blood pressure, dilating airways, and mobilizing energy reserves. Simultaneously, the hypothalamus engages the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, leading to the secretion of cortisol, that is the primary stress hormone. Cortisol helps sustain the body's alert state by maintaining elevated blood sugar levels and suppressing non-essential functions like digestion and immune responses. While this acute stress response is adaptive in short-term situations, chronic activations such as in prolonged trauma can be detrimental. Persistent high levels of cortisols and catecholamines can lead to amygdala hyperactivity, resulting in heightened fear and anxiety responses. Hippocampal atrophy, impairing memory formation and emotional regulation. Prefrontal cortex hypoactivity, reducing the ability to modulate emotional reactions and make rational decisions. Moreover, prolonged stress affects neurotransmitter systems. Norepinephrine levels remain elevated, contributing to hyperarousal and vigilance. Dopamine and serotonin imbalance can lead to mood disturbances and anhedonia, that is a lack of motivation or loss of pleasures. Physiologically, individuals may experience sleep disturbance, gastrointestinal issues, chronic pain, immune system suppression. Understanding this integrated response makes clear how trauma is not merely a psychological experience but a profound physiological event that reshapes brain function and bodily system. That reshapes brain function in bodily systems. From psychiatric perspective, unresolved trauma and chronic stress are not just emotional burdens. They are key risk factors for a range of mental health conditions. When trauma is not processed or healed and the stress response remains activated for long periods, it can lead to serious disruptions in mood, behavior, cognition, and interpersonal functioning. Some of the most common trauma and stressor related disorder as defined in the DSM-5 include post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, marked by flashbacks, hypervigilance, negative emotions, and avoidance behavior. Acute stress disorder is similar to post-traumatic stress disorder but occurs sooner after the exposure to a traumatic event. Adjustment disorder. There are emotional or behavioral symptoms in response to identifiable stressors, often seen in both children and adults. Reactive attachment disorder and disinhibited social engagement disorder, mostly seen in children with early neglect or abuse. Additionally, chronic trauma increases the risk for depression, anxiety disorder, substance use disorders, even borderline personality disorder, especially when traumas occurs during childhood or adolescence. They also have significant implications in the development of psychotic disorders. Research indicates that individuals who have experienced childhood trauma, such as abuse and neglect, are approximately 2 to 4 times more likely to develop psychotic symptoms later in life. This association is particularly strong with positive symptoms like hallucinations and delusions. Moreover, acute stressors, including significant life events like bereavement or major life changes, can precipitate brief psychotic episodes in susceptible individuals. These findings underscore the importance of considering trauma and stress histories in the assessment and treatment of psychotic disorder. This overview provides a general understanding of the link between trauma, stress, and psychosis. This episode lays the groundwork to understand the deep and lasting impact trauma has on the brain and the body. In the following chapters of this mini-series, we will explore each of these conditions in detail, what they are, how they develop, and most importantly, how they can be treated using evidence-based psychiatry approach. What is traumatic for one person may not be for another. It's not about the event, it's about how your mind and your body process it. And many people are living with untreated trauma without even knowing it. Like I say, this is just the beginning. In the next episodes, we will dive into childhood trauma, PTSD, and how trauma-related disorders are diagnosed and treated in psychiatry. If this resonates with you, subscribe to my channel and share with someone who might need it. Healing starts with understanding. Thank you.